every company has a mission statement, but it's the manager who makes work meaningful, which brings everything together with what you said, right? We've got to have this meaningful conversation with the people that we manage at least once a week, right? I wrote that down. I'm like, damn, that's important. So that was really good. I love how you brought it all together. You know what it felt like after I read the book? It felt like it was a manual because I kept on going back to it. I was like, whoa, this is what was that over here? You put so much into this one, and it felt like the research just came all together. How do you feel about the book now that it's out there?
We've gotten just excellent feedback on it, and we put a lot of effort in. The COVID year still going on in a lot of parts of the world, but still going on here. But we're starting to get out of it. But that whole 2020, as I look back on it, it felt like a blur. But we put so much research into this book. But our goal was to summarize it in a way that was accessible to any manager or leader, and pull away some action points from what's been done. So we did a lot of work looking not only at our Gallup databases, but also looking at the academic literature that's been published on each of these topics that we're talking about, to pull out, here's what you can reliably do and that you can rely on to actually have a real impact according to the science that we've seen. So we put a lot of effort into it. We wrote a book just a couple of years ago called "It's the Manager" that was even more of a manual. So that's more of a manual for managers and moving on that boss to coach journey. This one kind of builds on top of that, saying we got to take it a step further. In that journey, we've got some tidbits about organizational leaders and managers based on the science. Take it to the next level and impact people's overall lives. That was our goal.
Well, that happened with this one because there was something you said at the very beginning that I wrote down. You said work and life is more connected to work than ever before. And man, that is so true. Besides these devices, which you brought up being one of the reasons for that, why do you think we're there? And I think it's only just going to become even more and more true in the next few years.
Well, we were headed in that direction because it was an expectation of the newer workforce, pre-COVID, and then COVID just probably made it um, a permanent thing, because many people in this, so what we often call forced experiment, learned that it can work that way, and it can work that way effectively. You've got about 30% of people that really want to be back permanently on location, and all the rest either want some kind of a hybrid model where you're coming and going in ways that are most comfortable for you. That's the biggest chunk. And then there's another about 20% that would prefer to be full-time work from home, which is 4 times what it was pre-COVID. But I think people learned a lot on both sides. There's a group of people that learned I've got to be in the office to get my work done, and there's a big group of people that learned that the flex time thing they're asking for before really can and does work if you do it right. But what that does, Tristan, I think, is it puts even more pressure on how we manage people and how we coach them. It's hard to boss people when they're in that kind of environment, because the people with the boss mentality need to see what people are, they need to have people visible to them all the time so they know they're actually working. But if you get people in the right jobs, and you know that people really do want to make a difference in their work, if you're hiring the right people and have a system in place for that, the hybrid kind of model can be very effective, because it meets one of the basic needs we talked about earlier of autonomy. Most of what we see connects to engagement, well-being, has a lot to do with autonomy and people, being able to do things their own way. Even improving well-being, we shouldn't expect people to be athletes to have high physical well-being. We shouldn't expect them necessarily. They could be, but we shouldn't expect everybody to be a multi-millionaire. They could be, but we shouldn't expect everybody to be that if they want to have high financial well-being. And we shouldn't expect everybody to have 10 more new friends to have high social well-being. Maybe they just need to get the most out of hang out with the highest energy people that they know, that bring them the most energy. But They need to do it their own way is the point I'm trying to make. And if they know their strengths, they can impact all those well-being elements in a way that's very unique to them, and they don't have to do anything miraculous to get there. They can do it in a way that's simple and that is effective for them.